I'm live now on StreamYard. So now I'm going to try the Instagram and let's see what happens because we will be on Instagram whether it kills me.
I'll keep on
Um,
refreshing in here.
hang on. I don't know, it's asking me some questions. No,
Okay.
no, no. Okay. What? I don't want to, oh, hang on. Let me just click on. And let's see what happens. Okay, that's not the live I wanted. Do you see us live?
Not yet.
I'm gonna stop. Hang on. I'm gonna stop this one. Oh,
Okay.
wait. So maybe I have to go live on Instagram on my system because that didn't work. That just showed me a
Yeah.
giant light.
So
So let me.
stop this.
Oh,
Stop
I
this
see it.
one.
No,
Oh,
it's fine. I see it. I see it on
is
my
it on
laptop.
your profile? I'm
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna
refreshing.
hang on. Let's try. Okay. Um, it says we're live on Instagram, but oh yeah, so we do have people joining. Awesome. Whew.
Why can't I see it though?
I don't know, but it's live. So hello
Okay.
everyone. Thank you. So we do have a few people who have joined. This is awesome. This is fabulous. We're just testing out using StreamYard on Instagram for the first time. So bear with us. Okay. So welcome everyone. This is our last live before the summit launches in a couple of days. And we have here with us, we have Joanne, we have Amina, and we have Sophia, who are all speakers at the Ignited and United Summit. So if you haven't registered, please go ahead and register because trust me, you don't want to miss out on what is happening. I'm just going to add some additional people to the stage. Just give me 1 second. And we have Harry and we have Wendy.
Hi
Yes,
guys. Hello
welcome.
everybody.
This is super amazing. Wow,
Great.
awesome. So it's Valentine's Day, so I think we do have to say Happy Valentine's Day, to be honest. I'm just going to be tracking the comments as well. And like I said, the whole purpose of today is really to share some information about the summit that's coming up and really spark curiosity so that people who've never heard about human design but who know that something needs to shift in their lives can kind of figure out, is this what I need, is this what I've been waiting for, because the world as we know it is changing. Whether we like it or not, the change is here and we're all feeling it. Everyone's feeling it. We feel it in our bones, we feel it in energy. We can see that chaos is starting to brew, and the question is now, so now what do we do? We keep saying the old era is shifting. Well, what does that actually mean? How does that apply to you as an individual? How does that apply to us? What exactly is changing in the world? What decisions do we need to make? How can we move forward with the new era? So I did take some notes this time around because I really want us to cover a lot of things. So I've been in the coaching space for a while, and most of us here have been coaches as well. But the old way of coaching is no longer working. And that's what I really want to start with, right? What are some of the things that all of us on this panel as coaches have seen in the old era was just not going to apply anymore? And I'll start with you, Joanne.
I love that question because I've been doing so much this past year or so and just changing my coaching business because of that question, right? So some of the old models, many of the old models, if not all of them, of leadership are changing. They need to change. It's not a one size fits all. It never has been, but that's how we've been conditioned to live and lead. And it's something I've always known as a projector. I've just always seen it. I've always known it as a splenic projector. My intuition is pretty spot on, especially when I look in hindsight, right? So those old systems, those old leadership methodologies need to change. So for me, what's changing is stepping back into my own design, my own true design, and aligning with who I'm here to be and bringing my intuition, spirituality, and leadership together. And that's okay, right? Before it wasn't really okay. Like people still kind of struggle with that. In my experience. And for me, it's really about bringing my mind, my body, and my soul together and my intuition and leading in a very different way in my coaching business. So, just briefly, some of what the changes and transformation I'm going through is trusting my own rhythm in how I coach, creating a client portal to invite people in and to meet them where they're at and create a container for female leaders 40 and above to really dive into this transformational journey. And human design for me has been a game changer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're really going to go into later on why human design and how it's been a game changer. But for now, let's just stick with the question around the new era and what is shifting in the world of coaching and the experts and the do it this way, my way is the best way that we've seen all this while that's no longer working. And I'll go with you to you, Amina. What are some of the things that you're seeing in the coaching space? Oh, Amina, did we lose you?
I'm trying. Yes, sorry. Yeah, what I notice a lot is people are looking for more meaning, losing energy on the jobs, and really looking to finding something that makes them more aligned with who they are, and they're kind of uh, they're looking for orienting themselves, um, and feeling things are not really aligned. So especially women questioning, with doubting, losing their energy, looking also to making a transition into doing something with where they can have a more contribution, can create impact. But not just women; it's also young people, the new the Gen Z, I think, or so. But they are also looking for doing something that has a meaning, where they can create an impact, and they want to learn to trust themselves. So that is a big something that I notice, looking for the confidence, and where I feel that yeah, that human design can really help is creating that clarity.
Yeah,
um,
that's super amazing. And I want to switch to you, Sophia, and then we're going to go to Carrie because you deal with a lot of leadership, a lot of leaders, whether it's people who've been leaders for a while or people who are stepping into leadership, and how they can kind of move forward in an empowered way, just buttress of what Amina was saying. So we've come to this phase of where there was only one way to lead. You have to be a leader. You have to be the loudest voice in the room. You have to force people to do it your way. You have to figure everything out. How are you seeing leadership being different in this new era? And how can people, just like Amina was saying, people want to come to their own. They want to lead from the truth of who they are. What are some of the differences that you're seeing in the coaching space when it comes to leadership?
So that's for me.
Yes, you first.
So, my personal opinion, I don't think leadership should be studied. It's about time that we stop learning and learning and learning and moving on to shiny object to shiny object. And it's about time to start embodying what we truly are, right? I think it's a question of trusting our inner authority to lead the way that is right for us,
Mm,
right? Because we see so much stuff online, and this person is doing A and that person is doing B. And then we start comparing and we start like, oh, should I be leading that way or that way? So the way I see the new era going is just, especially for us projectors, right? We got a big, huge role. Is to guide individuals
Mm,
into leading their own way.
mm,
And
that,
and I just want to say something. And even even if it's not the right way, or even if there's a mistake that is done, I think people need to start speaking up about more about their mistakes, what's gone wrong, and really switching that, because it's in the messy middle that we
mm,
really know
mm.
what we should do going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've come from this era where everyone tried fake it till you make it, right? So they're constantly putting, I just made $50,000 in 2 weeks. I just lost 50 pounds in 2 hours, right? Just projecting this perfection. So you're saying we're done with that. Now it's lead your way, whether it's messy, but it's your way. But the question now begs, how do people start to discover what their way is? And I'm going to go to you, Carrie. What is my way? Like you can just say, well, this is all I've known. Who am I? I don't have a way. Carrie, how is the world changing? How can people start to be aligned with who they are? But they first need to
Yeah,
know who they are.
100%. Every growth trajectory starts with self-awareness. And then it follows by awareness of others too. And I want to bring into when we're talking about leaders to remember that leaders are leading others. And so one of the things I think that is so critical in this new era and the new era of leadership is the expansion, as Joan was talking about at the top, that we've gone away from that top-down directive model. And we've been moving away from that for the last 30, 40, 50 years, right? Away from that authoritarian, well, in some areas, there's still some attempts to do that. However, overall, we have been as a world moving away from that. But at the same time, there's that piece around then, well, where are we going? And I see us moving much more to collaborative models. I mean, I've been preaching this for a long time around negotiation and leadership, is that the more we are looking into those collaborations, working together, the more we are going to grow into something that is more generative, more healthy as individuals. I also think everyone is looking for personalized results now with that inner authority. We are looking for personalized, like you were just saying, the question, how do I know what is the right leadership for me? And one of the ways I think each of us is doing this now is human design is my number one go-to tool to help me understand myself, to help me understand my client, and to help my client understand themselves, and then how they can position themselves as the leader, especially of their teams. So, for example, I was just working with one of my C-suite clients earlier this week, and she was dealing with some team issues. And it was really about, okay, who are you meant to be as a leader in this moment? And what is your role in the new era? We have different roles according to the new era. Some of us are helping others along, coming out of the old era and into the new era. And others of us are very targeted towards the new era itself, and some of us are targeted towards pulling from the past, right? So it can be helpful to understand where am I positioned? What is the best use of my gifts, my genius as a leader? And also, how can I understand the people that I'm leading better? One of the ways is through human design as well. And even if we're not running that with other team members, it helps to open the mind to they are different. Everyone is unique in that perfect. I like to use that word perfect because everyone is perfectly designed. If we can let go of perfectionism and just live in the fact that we already are perfect, everyone already is perfectly designed to be their whole selves. It's and we are all challenged in certain areas. We all have our unique challenges. And so it's that kind of growth trajectory, that assessment, and then looking at where am I feeling stuck? Where am I feeling where am I resistant? Where am I feeling irritated even? Can be a great signal that, oh, what is being triggered here? So there's so many places that I think we can all go and explore, but those are just some highlights that come up for me when I think about leadership in the new era. The one thing I want to come back to, Joan, that you asked off the top is how is coaching changing? You asked that. And I think coaching is changing in so many ways. And one of the key that we haven't touched on, and it's I wouldn't say it has nothing to do with human design because I think it can help us with how we interact with it, and that is AI. Because AI is fundamentally changing everything. It is changing how coaches are coaching. So we're seeing that everywhere. And it's like, how do we as coaches use this amazing tool and not let it overtake us? And then also our leaders and our leaders, the people they are leading are all, excuse me, sorry, my tripod was wobbling there, are all, dealing with how is this affecting me? How is this affecting my go forward? So I think it's helpful to remember that is a player here, and I think our human design can also help us understand how we are meant to interact with, partner with, utilize, and benefit from AI.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Carrie. You shared quite a lot. But I'm going to move all of that stuff to Wendy, because Wendy, you're all about resilience, about mindset, right? And we're hearing from Carrie. Now, this is all about self-awareness, really looking within, which is a very scary place for a lot of people, because we're coming from a world where it's been, well, here's the manuscript, here's the framework, go conform, just do it this way. And now we're saying, don't necessarily burn it all, but go with it and find out for yourself what works for you, which can be a very, very scary place. I'm a projector, so the whole resilience, go, 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 not for me. What are some of the mindset shifts that you think are really, really crucial as we step into this new era and really empower people to be able to embrace that self-awareness where resilience is really coming from within versus the projections of the world that has said, if you're sleeping, then you're lazy.
Well, you guys all kind of set this up perfectly, because I think resilience is kind of where this is embodied now in the new era. Because I think when we think about resilience before, right, it was always about how do we push through? How do we say, okay, this has happened, and now how are we going to not only put that in a part of our life, but how are you going to explain it? And I think now, instead of like doing those steps, this is about to carry what Carrie, you said, which is brilliant. It's really about the self-awareness. So when you're inside that inner authority and the outer authority are not feeling aligned, that means there's some sort of trigger that's happening. I think with resilience, the way that I'm defining it, it's the discernment of what is not feeling right. And how is that manifested? It's manifested by someone getting more frustrated. It's manifested by an anger outburst. It's manifested by not necessarily showing up the way you want to show up. And so that self-awareness is critical. And then it's about stepping back and saying, what's really going on here? And then how do I gain clarity? I do think it's about clarity first, of really recognizing. So it would become, I need to figure out how to trust myself again. And I think that's why people, I think that as we all think about who we're coaching and how we're approaching the 40 plus, it's like we've lost trust. And that's where the new era is going to help us, because I think it's the return to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. We have so many comments going. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm catching up on the comments. And yeah, absolutely. Because we've been in the whole mind game. So trust your mind, trust what the experts are saying. But now we're saying we're done with that. Now you need to trust yourself. You need to look inwards. And for some people, they've never looked inwards, because it's like we've always looked up to the people that we thought knew what's best for us. Just tell me who I am. Tell me what to do. What business should I launch? How should I market my product? How should I lead? Like, we've just done it. How should I exercise? How should I make decisions? And now we're done with that. Now the new resilience is about trusting your inner authority. And I know we're using some human design technical terms now, and maybe that's where I'm going to want us to segue into next. People hear human design and they're like, here we go again, another personality quiz, another someone telling us who we are and how we're meant to be. So in your own words, or in your own way, or how you're using human design, and maybe you can touch on one or two elements of human design, how would you share what human design is to you personally and to the clients that you work with? And we're going to start with you, Joanne. Pick an element or two about human design, what it means to you and how you're using it to create this awareness that we're talking about that is needed for the new era.
Yeah. And when you were speaking, Joan, and asking a question, a few of the areas that come through within the new era is self-responsibility, individual empowerment, and collective impact. Now, it's not like we haven't heard those words or terms before, but with human design, this is truly about going inward, doing the work outwardly, if that makes sense, right? So it's everything we're talking about. It's that deeper transformation and not just following what everyone else is telling us to do and not looking for someone else to tell us. That is the true self-responsibility and individual empowerment. And then that's how we can have a collective impact. Whether, we're seeing clients one-on-one in a small community or we're leading large organizations, that impact trickles out. Because the difference with human design is really, like we've talked about, getting in touch with, not even just getting in touch with, but rediscovering who we're here to be, in our own energy, in our own frequency, and really aligning through true authenticity. Like we've heard these words a lot and these phrases, but what I've seen with clients and myself, like when we really learn our human design, it can become a practical tool to evolve and transform, and also a profound tool. So to me, it's practical and profound. And honestly, because if I go to my projectorness of a 5-2, I am a practical leader who is here to bring to the world, I put in quotes, right, to kind of spread the word of how we can do that as individuals, as leaders, as teams. So working with clients, I started, I was saying this a little bit earlier, I'm really shifting how I'm working with them to shift people to that self-responsibility, to that deeper work, where creating client portals and creating information to satisfy our minds, but in a way that helps people to go deeper into noticing what they feel in their body and what their, I'm going to use the term soul, is saying. What's that passion? What's that soul? What's that resonance? And the shift is profound because it's not more like, I think, Sophia, you were saying it. It's not about learning more leadership techniques. It never, in my opinion, has ever really been. I mean, that's a piece of it, of course, but it's about really aligning with who we are. Mm-hmm. So as I introduce this to people, and I think probably most of you on the call, if not all of you, have probably seen this as well. Oftentimes it's those of us who are projectors and the evaluators, who are a smaller percentage in the world as opposed to the generators and manifesto generators, we tend to have the most profound impact right off the bat, personally, to ourselves, because we're here to lead in a different way. And it's been eye-opening for clients as well. They're like, oh, I get it now. I'm not being who I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. So maybe I'm going to go to the other projector, because we do have a couple of projectors on this call, and we have like Elmira, who's in the comments, she's a projector as well. And how has discovering that you're a projector changed for you, Sophia, how you lead? I know Joanne already touched on this, but for your own area and for the people that you work with, and maybe in your personal life as well, how has that changed how you show up, how you lead, and what other elements of human design are you using to coach your clients? Or to guide? Let's just drop the word coach and just stick to guide.
Yeah, it's guiding, really. So, well, I just wanted to answer like the first one, the first question that you asked, Joanne, how I see human design. For me, human design is more than just a tool. It's a manual, right? So I'm going to tell a little story, like just really quick. When I had my first child, my Mariana, I was 36 and I didn't have a clue. So I bought a manual. I bought the Gina Ford manual book, and I was religiously following it. But what human design, this manual is completely different, because this is the manual of me. It's the manual of you. It's, I don't want to be like too hoo-hoo here, but it's written in the stars because it's based on your birth, right? And it in your birth time, your birth location, it's written, it's all there. I've been studying human design for a couple of years now, right? And every time I go even more deeper into my own design, because it has to start with us, right? When we study and we study with us, and then we'll project. Well, I'm a self-projected projector. I'll project it to my clients, right? How I guide. So when I start studying, I encounter things in my whole life that are there. They are there, but I wasn't aware of it until I study it, right? But now what I'm doing, I'm shifting it. And instead of studying even more, obviously there's always an element of studying, but I'm embodying it. And once you embody it, once you feel it in your body, this is the best way to guide my clients, right? Because this reflection or this projection of me embodying, I'm giving permission to my clients to do the same. Because one thing is like studying thing after thing after thing after thing, and another thing is feeling it in your body. So, yeah, I don't know if that answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a full six. So a six, anyone who has a six, and we're going to talk about some human design elements in a minute, but with the six, you're a role model, right? So you can't just teach. You can be like a five who I have the solution. Here's the solution. It doesn't work for the line six. For the line six, you must embody. If you're not embodying it, they're going to know that you're fake, right? And that's where human design can really help you. Once you understand this is my design, this is how I need to show up, I need to embody, or I need to be the solution provider, or I need to be the hermit, or whatever it is, you can now show up as your true self because now, like you said, you have the map, you have the blueprint, right? And as you were talking about map, like my new Love Gates report just landed today. So if you haven't downloaded yours, go download it. But not just to plug that in, but we were given all these rules about this and how everybody should love this. We had the 5 love languages, we had attachment theory, but most of those things were just really behavioral, really external. Human design is energetic. It's you on the inside. It doesn't ever change. It's how you were born, how you're designed. And if we haven't mentioned it, it's unique to you. Like it's really the science of differentiation. No two people have the same human design blueprint. So the sooner you start being the master of you, the learning, like Sophia was saying, yes, there's some learning, but it's learning you. Once you learn you, you align with you and you embody you, life magically starts to happen. So there's many, many elements of human design, and that's the next topic. But we're still going to go around and talk about the how you using human design. But once you start to take the different pieces of human design and start studying you, life will start to show up. Whether you call it your soul's mission, your God's mission, purpose for you, it doesn't matter. We all know that we're here for something different. We know that for a fact, for sure. The question now is, well, then what? Well, your human design has the answer, right? We're done with a guru telling us, we're done with your mother telling you, because they don't know. Their soul is different. So human design is your manual. It's not anybody else's. And the only studying that you need to be doing in 2026 is studying your human design. Okay. Thanks, Sophia. Amina, over to you.
Yes, thank you. What an interesting conversation. Well, coming back to your question in how I use human design or the value of it, I think we talked about trust before. And I'm personally also somebody who really likes first to discover a truth within myself. So for the moment, I've been starting to using human design, it's rather as a validation, because when I take people on a journey, I first ask them, or I lead them through a process to discover that truth within themselves, to reflect, to feel, to go into their heart space, to finding their answers within through, well, the coaching journey, through another process that helps me, that allows me to help people finding their purpose, and then going into human design as I've experienced it myself, and then finding that validation, to reinforcing that trust, but and because things are then just starting to resonate. And in addition, what I found and is that the human design is so rich. It's like a roadmap. It's like what Sophia was saying. It's really a roadmap. But taking the first step to trusting something like that, human design, yeah, it's another thing. It's to really feeling that alignment, or that it resonates with your own experience, with your own wisdom, and first trusting that. Now, when I see what it allows, I would really like to take people deeper. I'm still studying it also myself, but when I see how rich it is, it can really shorten certain aspects, certain pathways, and leading quicker to a deeper wisdom. But most of all, what I really like about it is empowering perspectives. It's looking at, for example, for me, there are certain gates, or what we call as aspects of self-doubt, confusion. When I looked into human design, and I saw another empowering aspect of these gates, of this self-doubt that I have been struggling with in my life, but then seeing the transformational path that leads to the gift in it, and in a like finding from the self-doubt, not if you don't direct it towards yourself, but you direct it outwards to systems, to things outside, it becomes really a strength, a talent. I had never looked at it like that. And each of the gates has, yes, we have our shadow sides, the things that we struggle with. But on the other side, we discover there is a gift. There's a transformational path. And we get more access to our talents, and start to see ourselves from an empowering perspective. We gain perspectives, and it allows us to step up higher, elevating ourselves more in a fuller self-expression of ourselves. So this is what I really love about human design. But where I start is, for me, essential is helping people to connect to that inner trust, trusting their inner authority, trusting themselves, and then validating it. But yeah, those who are open, then I would really love to dive deeper and immediately into the roadmap. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's very interesting that you share that, because I think one of the biggest challenges that people have, and I know I had that for a long time, was clarity. Right? Who am I? What am I here to do? I don't know. I'm good at this. I'm good. You're a manifesting generator. You're good at many, many things, right? So another manifesting generator might be stuck in this shiny object. Where do I go next? What's next? What's next? What you're saying is that human design can help you get clarity on your purpose. Because whether we like it or not, the older we get, purpose starts to become a priority. Because you're like, okay, what's my place in this world? Why am I here? Right? So having a tool that can help you finally discover what your purpose is and know it. Because I was told years ago that my purpose is to be a business coach. So I went, even though I knew I always wanted to do relationships, but some guys like, no, you have the presence of a business coach. And I went down that rabbit hole, hated it. And I was like, I knew inside of me I was dying. But if I had human design many years ago, I would never have touched being a business coach, because it was never for me. So now we have a tool, and like I said when I started out, this is not about us sitting on some pedestal and saying, we know what you should be. No, you get to discover who you are. But now you have a tool that can lead you there. And you can be like, oh, this is why I'm here. This is my purpose. And it feels good in your body. You will know. There's always that resonance.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying and the clarity you received from like saying, okay, but human design it goes deeper. Like when we look at our purpose, what you were explaining in a way, like a business coach, it's an expression of that purpose, right? It's something that purpose is deeper. It's like your essence. It's like, and there's a lot of misconceptions about it, what purpose actually is. But when we look into also in the human design, in your chart, in your report, and well, what that the journey that I did prior to discovering human design, but then discovering in human design the roadmap, that there are different aspects to purpose. And the first one, and really the foundation, is who you are. Like what is in your soul, in your highest self-expression that's embedded in your design, and it's you, what seeks to be expressed, and how it is expressed then is, like you're saying, what fits with your purpose probably is that you want to help people be successful, find that fulfillment, and there's something that resonates, and finding that, putting words on that, and then finding it's already written in your human design. You don't have to invent it, but how it's being expressed is also then a part of it. But the foundation is it's,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
in
we're
who
losing
you
your audio.
are and how you express yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a little bit what I will be touching as well in my intervention. But it's beautiful.
It's so fascinating because even though I'm in this world, I'm still like, oh my God, somewhere where you can not only find out what your purpose is, find out how to express it, how to communicate it, who your people are, how to market. Like, it's just so rich and so empowering that you finally have a way, right? It gets rid of all that confusion. Who am I looking at next? Who's the next big thing? Is it Gary V? Is it who? Is it this? We're done with that. This is all about you. And now you can find a way to be able to kind of go through it in a way that is right for you, right? So that's beautiful. So thank you, Amina, for that. Wendy, over
Yes.
to you.
Wow, you guys are getting me all excited. So I love like listening to all of you and learning also from all of you. And so I concur with everything that you've said. And so to build, I think, on that, especially because I know people are listening, what I've tried to do with human design is also simplify it, because I think it's very easy to get overwhelmed. And when you're explaining it to other people, like I know when I've tried to explain it to my adult daughters, they're like, Ma, what are you even talking about? You're going a little like off here. And so what I have tried to really think about is not only is it your roadmap, it's your DNA. And so the opportunity is number one, to have self awareness, two, to have some curiosity, and then three, to kind of be here with self responsibility. Because I think, especially in our world right now, it's, I don't want to say it's easy, but I think we've all seen people that kind of lean into like victimhood. And so the opportunity is, how do we step back from that? And then not only look at our human design as this roadmap, but what does it mean as to what we are here to do? And purpose, while I appreciate all of that and how we are trying to do that, I have found sometimes in talking with clients can be a little overwhelming because it gets very deep very quickly. So I think the opportunity is for me as a coach and as a guide to recognize where they are in their own journey. And so what I will sometimes do is really talk about values, because our values are how we make decisions. And of course, that comes in from our profile, right? From our superpowers. And then I also talk about superpowers because that's their strengths. So many times our purpose is tied into our strengths, right? Because that's why there are our strengths. And then also, then what's really holding us back? We talk about limiting beliefs. Well, what are limiting beliefs? There are fears. So somehow I'm using the language of the design to help people really recognize where they are on their journey and allow them to then move forward just a little bit.
Oh,
So
I love it. I love it because it almost sounds like human design is not new per se. We've just been labeling it different things and couldn't really figure out what it was, right? So we'll say limiting beliefs, but do we all have the same limiting beliefs? We don't. Now you have the fears. You can figure out what are my fears and what are the fears that other people are projecting on me that are not really mine. So it
Right.
really is, and I love that you said you help simplify it because even Ra himself, who founded Human Design, said it takes 7 years to master the system. Well, nobody got 7 years. So being able to simplify it, to start to break down some of the things that we're talking about, how your profile, each different profile means something different, right? How you make decisions, what your authority is, what your type is, what does all of that mean? How does it help you to discover who you are? For me, 46 years on earth, I've never found anything like human design. Like I dumped everything else that I was teaching and I was like, I said I'm a human design coach. End of story, period. Because hands down, it's the first tool that I found that has really spoken to me. It saw me. And when I use that with my clients, they feel seen, right? Sophia was one of the first people ever to run my Love Gate report. And she was just like, she was like giggling because she was like, oh my God, this is so me, oh my God, right? But we've been told all our lives that, the man is the provider, the woman is submissive, the woman is the nurturer. Different people have come up with different ways to love. But even within love, human design tells us that you're different. How you do love and how love does you is completely unique to you. So why listen to everybody else? You need to listen to yourself, right? And be able to make decisions from an aligned position. So if you haven't registered for the summit, I don't know what you're waiting for. Because trust me, hands down, this is the only tool, and I'm going to die on that hill, that you need to start being in alignment with where you want to go. We're also entering into the year of the fire horse. Like you might not be into astrology, I wasn't, but that fire horse, I feel it, right? Momentum is going to be starting next week. This is the time to decide, am I still going to be looking for the experts, for the gurus, just staying in misalignment with my soul? Or am I ready to really, really honor who I am, why I'm here, find a roadmap for my life, and just follow it? And now you have 11 guides who are going to be in this summit talking about different aspects of human design. This human design is very complex. We're dealing with 11 very unique different areas. Come and learn about your design so that you can start to make aligned and empowering decisions for 2026 if you want to thrive. The old era is gone. Now is the time. Now is a new opportunity for you to be you, for you to be seen, because a lot of us are afraid to be seen because it's not really who we are. We have this mask on, and now you're wondering, are people going to judge? Yeah, they're going to judge you because it's a mask. Human design says, take off the mask, be who you are, lead from the truth of who you are, and step into alignment. This is the year. So go register. Oh, I just see that Sophia has put go register. It's free. Like go register. Go register. Okay. So
Yeah.
oh my God.
I put the link there, but it's just Ignited and United Summit with two M's .com.
Go register. So finally, I just want to go around again and just talk about, like I already said, mine. I'm talking about the new love languages because Gary Chapman, thanks but no thanks. We're done with that. Now you need to know how you're energetically wired to love. So check my talk out. So Joanne, maybe we'll start with you. Just tell us what your talk is going to be about at the summit and what particular area of human design you're going to be dealing with so that people can get excited.
Yeah, so I'm talking about reclaiming the leadership you were designed for, from cultural conditioning to soul aligned leadership, and really focusing on, because my profile talks about being a practical leader, right? Really emphasizing some of the foundational pieces of human design, like type, strategy, profile, and then moving into what does it mean to decondition? What are those three steps or phases, I should say, that this work can bring you through? So that's part of how I work with people, is called the clarion path of bringing them through deconditioning, reclaiming, and then resounding in the energy and of who you are and who you're here to be. And why am I doing this? Why does it matter? Because the world is waiting for us. We're stepping into the new era, and this is what it's about. So join us.
It's time. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I always say that transformation is more about unlearning than learning. So yeah, the conditioning, absolutely, absolutely crucial. Amina, what's your talk about and what part of human design are you going to be focusing on?
Yes, so my talk will be about the power of purpose.
Wow.
And I will be touching upon the core four, or we say the incarnation cross, which kind of represents 70% of your personality. And why the power of purpose? Well, because I think many of us, we want to know, like, we question ourselves, like, who are we really? When
Someone's phone.
okay. Something that was interesting. So understand it at a certain point in our lives, and when we are transitioning or things happen in our lives, there, at a certain point, and or maybe around midlife, as it was for me,
Hmm.
I lost touch with who I was. I felt really exhausted, fully self doubt, and had lost touch with who I was. Couldn't project myself. Didn't know how to make really decisions with regard to my future, and knew I had to take a break. I needed to reconnect with myself.
Yeah.
And I think we are a lot of women are going through that. As I also, well, the people are coming in coaching, they are in transition, they want to give a new direction to their life, or they feel exhausted, don't know what direction to take, are in a fog. And really, for me, the power of purpose is really going to the foundation, really understanding, reconnecting, who am I really, and what seeks to be expressed through me. So really going to that essence, and then also looking then at the human design as a chart, like as a roadmap that can also open, lead to some eliminations in that regard. But I would really like to go take people on that journey to really understanding purpose. As I took a sabbatical, I took 6 months off with finding, with the intention to finding the answer to the question, but who am I really? I lost myself. Who am I really, and what kind of activity, not kind what kind of job, what kind of activity will allow me to bring out the best in me? And there I came back with the two answers to that question. And that was so, I mean, that since then, I've been on this road purposefully. I don't question myself anymore. And the way, the facing struggles or challenges, I do it from a different place,
Hmm.
because I know what belongs to me. I know what places I do not belong, what kind of environments will help me to bring out the best in me, what my gift is, what my worth is. And this is what in the power of purpose, what I would like to get to create more clarity about, and also help people to direct, where can we find those answers, what are the questions that we ought to ask
Hmm.
ourselves to
I
find that clarity. And through that clarity, wow, unapologetically be you, value yourself, don't need, no, not needing outside validation. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what my talk will be about.
Oh my God, another powerful session. So we have a profile, we have type, we have inner authority. Right now we have the core four. I hope everyone is getting to see just how profound and how complex human design is. But each session is going to be pulling in a different piece so that at the end of it, you have the entire blueprint of how you can really transform your entire life. So thanks for that. And one other thing I wanted to say about Amina is, we're coming from this era where it's just been go, 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 go. But sometimes to move from survival to sovereignty, there's a pause. And it's a-okay to be in the pause, right? And
Mhm.
really just take that time to go within so that when you come back out with the clarity, it's go, go, go. Awesome. Thank you. Sophia, what is your talk about and what part of human design are you going to be focusing on?
Well, you know what? I'm so glad that you actually said the pause, because this is the problem. We are conditioned to go, 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 and we don't pause at all. But some of us are more privileged than others that know that that pause is necessary. So my talk is actually, I'm gonna ask the people to pause, to name the fear, to shift it, to reframe it, and to trust that whatever they come up with to shift that fear, it's good enough to go forwards, right? I'm going to talk to those individuals that want to be embodying their leadership, because leadership is not something you do, it's something that you feel it in your body. Because if you don't feel it, it's not going to project the right thing. So I'm just, I'm also got to guide, this embodied leader wants to have an impact, wants to have a community, and is in that space that is doubting, shall I just stay with the one-to-one, or shall I just embrace the group dynamic? So a lot of the people that come to me, they're like questioning that they're not good enough to do group because they haven't done enough one-on-ones, right? So I'm going to explain, I'm going to show you a different perspective. I'm going to show you that your design can actually harbor both practices. So, yeah, come.
I love it because fears is something that before we joined Ignite, I didn't know anything about fears. I thought I was fearless, even though deep down inside I knew I had fears, but it was like, no, I'm just going to ignore them, right? But it's only when I started to really walk through the fears and really name them and look at them and be like, okay, I know you're there, but you're not going to hold me back. And without human design, I would never have discovered. I have quite a number of fears, right? So you just focusing on fears, because I know that for a lot of people who desire or aspire to be leaders, fears usually hold them back. It's not
they put them in a box.
Just put it in a box.
You put them in a box.
And when we make the biggest mistake, we go talk to people who have other fears, and then they project, and now your fears are like even way bigger. They were like, who am I to do this? I need to go learn more. I need to know enough. I don't have a PhD. I need to do this. I need to do this. And then we start to doubt. And then eventually you're like, okay, I'm just going to go get that 9-to-5 job. So I think it's really, really key what you're talking about, really helping people to see their fears, name their fears, and know what they need to do to overcome it so that they can become the embodied leader and really set up the kind of program that fits their design. Everything we're going to be talking about in this summit is about design, really returning to the authenticity of how you were designed, whether it's to lead, your wellness, your health, how you make decisions. It doesn't matter. Human design holds the key. Thank you, Sophia. Wendy, tell us a little bit about your talk and what areas of human design you're going to be dealing with.
Thank you, Joan. So I'm going to be talking about resilience without self-betrayal, because oftentimes I think, and Amina, I thought you were genius when you really talked about how sometimes we lose like who we are. And I think as women, you get the kids off or you have the career and we get on that treadmill and it becomes almost performative, right? Like we're doing things. And then when we take that pause, it's like, okay, now what? And so what I'm trying to move away from is that resilience isn't a framework. It's more about how do we recognize in that little small space that something isn't working, and then what do we do about that? And that what do we do about that is where profile can come into play, because it can allow us to say, okay, who are we meant to be in some sense at the very highest level? And I think that's the place I'm going to start.
Ooh, love it. Profile. Yes, I love the profiles. I started off with the profiles and now I've landed at the love gates, but it is so, so key because we're all so different. And it's so easy we can only see others through how we are. And it's so easy to be stuck in that. Knowing and understanding and embracing and embodying your profile, that's freedom. So thank you so much, Wendy. Carrie, last but not least, thank you for hopping back on. I saw that it kicked you out initially. So tell us about your talk and what aspect of human design you're going to be tackling.
Well, thank you. And I'm sorry I missed everything in between. I was having some tech issues and I was sitting in the wrong room waiting to come back in and couldn't figure out. Anyway, it's all resolved. I'm back. So thank you for your patience. And I love this question. So I'll be talking about negotiation as a shared success strategy. And so I find that, especially for women, the very word negotiation often freaks us out as to how we should or need to show up and beliefs around what negotiation is. So one of the ways I love to work with clients, especially women clients, even when I'm just speaking about negotiation, is to kind of reframe what that is. And we talked about that a little bit last time. So what I'm going to be focusing on is looking at it again. We're looking at it from the inside out, all of us, I think. And so one of the ways is, in order for us to negotiate well and show up for who we are, we need to figure that out. And so when I work in depth with clients, I look at their entire human design blueprint as a key, as a clue rather, and how to show up and negotiate well and strongly and be happy and have a successful negotiation. And the two areas that I find at the front end that are the most helpful in terms of identifying that style, that negotiation style to bring into that, are type and profile. So I'll be looking at concentrating on those two areas, and really voice and fears, all of it comes into play. But I like to start with type and profile because I think those are the ways that we can easily understand better how we can show up in our negotiations. And I'll also be sharing a very straightforward 5-step, my model around five. It's not really 5 steps, but it's a 5-part negotiation by design framework. I'll share that, since how we can look at how our negotiation style overlays.
I love it. Wow. And there's just 6 of us on this call. There's 5 other women who are going to be talking about 5 other topics and aspects as it relates to human design and you. So, like, I think anyone who's still sitting on the fence right now, like, honestly, like, seriously, this is it. I think there's never been a time like this before well, not in my history, maybe 400 years ago. But this is so crucial. And I think now people have access to be able to do this work, to do the inner work so that the outer expression can actually show up. One that feels right for you. It doesn't feel like icky, like how Carrie was saying, negotiation, and you're like, ew. We don't want to have that feeling anymore. We want to be like, oh, this sits well with me. I feel good. I feel great. I can show up for myself. I can show up for my people. I can love exactly the way I'm designed to love. I can follow the right purpose and path for me. I have clarity on how I want to be in the world, who I want to be, who I want to work with, all of that stuff. I think that this summit is my first summit for this year, but I think it's probably going to be the most powerful one. And I really want to invite everyone who's here to just show up. Show up curious. Show up even if you're not even curious, even if you don't believe, even if you're like, this is not going to work for me. Show up, because you might just be waiting to hear just one thing that could shift your life forever. So if you're at a crossroad where, go, I don't know, just show up. Just trust yourself. Trust that you're not here by mistake. Trust that you, the universe or your soul or God or whatever, already made sure that you were here today to listen to this message. And that might be just what you need to be able to move your life forward. So go ahead and register. This is our last slide before the summit, unfortunately. But we're going to be showing up in full force with all the energy.
Joanne, we haven't heard what you're going to talk about.
I
Moderating fantastically.
No, we started with me. I did talk about it.
No, Joan.
No, Joan.
I just said Joanne. I'm sorry. I was like, good point. I mean, Joan.
It's already really just touching it a little bit, but I'm going to be talking about the new love languages. I've been engaged 8 times, married once, been on this relationship dating game for a long time. But even as a young child, I knew that there was something off. Like I look at people, I was like, oh, they're not really happy. These people don't really match together. There's just something off. And so from a very young age, I knew that something is broken within the world. And as a 3/6, which I did not realize until much later, it was going to be trial and error. So you name it. All the different profiles I've dated, all the different types I've dated, all the different emotions, all the different authorities I've dated. And that has led me to be like, oh, Now I know what the problem is. The problem is we're all trying to do this cookie cutter approach of dating, right? Meet in high school, fall in love at first sight, and then suffer for the rest of your life. Just stay there, whether it's difficult, whether it's working. No, all men are providers, all women are nurturers, all this, all that. Be this, be feminine. All of these rules that haven't really worked. Because when I look at people in relationships, everyone's just trying to keep shit together, right? And it doesn't have to be a struggle. There is a way for you to love authentically the way you were designed. And that's what the new love languages is all about, where you can finally, hopefully, for the first time, really see yourself in, oh, this is how I love. Oh, this is why my partner pisses me off. Or this is the gift that my partner brings to the table. Or, oh, I'm in the shadow and I can transition to the gift side of it because every single love date has a gift. But if you're not aware or you're being triggered all the time or you don't even know how to love. You're following this framework or this paradigm or this rules that we're given about what love is and what love isn't. Then you're just shooting in the dark. You're just hoping that shooting and hoping that something sticks. So this for me is finally a way for people to honor and own how they love and be okay with it because you're like, oh, I actually love differently than my partner, and that's okay. But now you can love your partner for who they are, not who you want them to be. And I think that's the biggest challenge. So whether you're single, dating yourself, not dating, in a relationship, married, not married, whatever your configuration is, you can learn about yourself and how you love and really be able to own that, honor it, and stay in that alignment so that one, you can attract the right kind of reactions from your partner, but you can also attract a love that is really that's so, this is my person because it is possible. I don't care what anybody else has said that love is suffering. It's not. It's not. It can be beautiful. So that's my thought. Thank you for asking, for calling me out. Okay, I think we've gone over time. It is past the hour, but I really want to thank you all, ladies, for being here. And I already know that this is going to be amazing. I can feel the energy. There's so much passion. And again, we're not here to teach or train or whatever. We're here to guide, right? We've all been given something within us that we're here to share with the world. We want to share how we're using human design for our lives, how it's changed our lives, and how we can help you too, and really be that roadmap or that blueprint or that pathway for you to uh, accomplish whatever it is that you desire. But it has to be for you, not what the world said you want, or what you truly want, and be able to sit with that. Okay, final words because I can keep going on forever and ever. Final words, one sentence. Joanne, why should people show up for the summit?
Oh, wow. Because of everything we just said. I mean, it's life changing. It's life changing. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
And yeah, enough said.
So, yeah, why should people show up?
Well, if we keep in the theme of today, happy Valentine's, everybody.
Mm.
If you love yourself,
Ooh,
come and see it.
love that. I love that one. I love that one.
Brilliant.
I know, right? Amina.
I think it's a unique opportunity to listen to experiences and different perspectives and getting the whole cycle of different from what can you get out of the human design and through different lenses. I think that's just unique, and when you feel the energy and the vibes and the hearts with which the open hearts that we communicate with and the unique stories, I think it will be very enriching.
Yeah, I love that. Enriching. Wendy.
I think this is a game changer. I think that people that show up, you're going to find unique people that you will probably find a lot of commonality with, and they will as well. So come and join all of us.
Yes, game changing. Carrie.
First, thank you for hosting, Joan. This is amazing, and I love that what you do to bring us together for these calls. As for why to show up for you because you're worth it.
I love that.
You're worth it.
That's simple.
It is
That
that
is
simple.
simple.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, beautiful ladies. We will see you all on the 8th. Go register, and we'll
Thank
be
you,
there.
Joan.
And we're hoping 2026 is your best year ever as we all step into alignment. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
So it's ended on Instagram. Good. Yay!
It
Oh, so
says you're
cool.
live. It
Oh,
says you're live.
oh no, no, that's this one. Hang on, let me end this one. And stream. Hang on. Why is it not ending?
I don't know. Do we need